they were the first grades were overcrowded in the school where she was going, but she was in second. No, Wendy was in school then. She was about in Judy Ann must have been in fifth, sixth grade by then. But they asked me, knowing that I had been a first grade teacher. See, people came and asked us to teach. It happened to us all the time. Came and asked me if I would if they took a couple of children out of each of these other schools in the district and put them and started a new first grade, would I be interested in that job? I said, oh, well, I wasn't planning on going back to work. Wendy was, I didn't think ready for me to do it. So anyway, they said, well, don't answer now. Go home and talk it over with Harold. See, we know all these people. Don't say no to me now. Go talk it over with Harold, and maybe you can decide. Take a couple of days. So I came home with Harold and we talked, and I said, I don't know whether Wendy is ready for me to do this. So anyway, Harold said, well, maybe you could try it. I said, yeah, but if I say I'll start a new class, I have to go through with it. I said I wouldn't just go over and then have them get a new teacher. So anyway, I said yes, I would do it. So I taught it was a half year. It was after Christmas vacation that it started. So it was like children were home on their vacation, and then they came back and they had a new room and a new teacher. So anyway, I taught that till June, and I enjoyed it. Uh, but then they wanted me to. Will you go on now with this? But they wanted me to sign a contract for the next year. And in that time, Wendy said to me one day, Bobby, do you have to be a teacher? Can't you just be a mommy? You know what I did? But then by the time she was 5, she was 6 rather. By the time she was in school, she didn't mind. She didn't mind then, but yeah. But she said when she said to me so plaintively, do you have to be a teacher? Can't you just be a mommy? Broke my heart. I stayed home until she was ready to go into school. Because Wendy was not ready. She was not happy. I don't regret it. So anyway, I waited uh, till Wendy was ready to go to school. When I wanted to go back when Judy Ann was in high school, I decided I wanted to go back to teaching. It would make it easier for her to go to college,
Okay.
financially.
Sure. Sure.
And so I did go back and I finished up. Oh, all those years I was taking a course here and a course there,
Oh, okay.
and at Hofstra.
Oh, you
I,
I
I
didn't
got
know that.
I got my degree from Hofstra.
Oh, and Brendan's there.
That's right.
Oh, I didn't know that there was a connection there. Huh.
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, I when I decided I wanted to go back to teaching, uh, I was able to before that, but
Okay.
not have a full job. But when I wanted to go back steadily and get a real salary, well, I knew I didn't have quite enough credits for that last year. So that year before I wanted to teach, I went back and took the rest of those courses. And then I got my degree then. So 20 years later, well, that's what it would have been. Hofstra was still wonderful to me. They just let me take what I wanted when I wanted. And at the end, they gave me credit for everything I had taken at New Paltz that I could get my degree from Hofstra. So things worked out for me. So then I got my degree from Hofstra, and then I wanted to teach then, close by. It was when he was still in junior high. And I went, I started sending applications to various schools when I knew I wanted to teach the beginning reading. I wanted to teach like first or second, first grade is really what I wanted to teach. So I put in an application here in Sayville, which because Harold was teaching then in the high school. Now I would have been in. We had two or three elementary schools at that time in Sayville. So I put in an application to teach it. Well, the superintendent said, "Oh, of course." I mean, Harold had an idiocy. Okay. So anyway, he gave me. He said, "I yes, there was an opening in first grade, and I could have that." So the funny thing was, uh, at that time, at that time there was a new superintendent in schools in Sayville. So he gave me a contract, and the next day he found out he was new. He didn't know too much about the district, and he found out that there was something a ruling that a husband and wife could not teach in the same district in Sayville. So he contact first he called Harold and he said, "I feel so bad about this." He said, "I told Edna she could have, could teach in the school, and now the next day I found out." So I say I had the shortest tenure of anybody in Sayville. I was hired one day and fired the next. So then I had put in applications at other schools around here. Well, I had put in for the Connecticut district, and the closest school to me was 2.5 miles from my house. So I said, "That's where I want to teach." I knew the principal there too. As a matter of fact, the principal of that school was a teacher in Harold's school. So, so she was teaching for Harold, and if I got into that school, I could be teaching for her husband. Uh, anyway, we used to go back and forth to each other's homes. I mean, we were very good friends. So anyway, I had to go see him, and I got an interview with him, and he said, "Why did you pick this school? Because of me?" I said, "No, Tom." I said, "I picked this school because my house, is right off Montauk Highway, and this school is right on Montauk Highway. In bad weather, I wouldn't have trouble getting there." He thought that was funny. I got the deal. I taught first grade, and I stayed for 14 years there. But that was funny. So I really didn't have a problem with getting a jail, and neither did Harold. I mean, this was really funny. The last school that I was in, yeah. Well, that was until I was 55 and could retire. It was kindergarten through sixth grade because by then it was junior high. Well, I never took much time off when I was working. As a matter of fact, one year, in the schools where I taught, they always gave the children certificates if they had perfect attendance for the year. Well, one year, I had perfect attendance, so they gave me a certificate. So I guess I didn't have any grandchildren that year. Yeah, 'cause I can remember one time when they were here for a weekend, and they took me back, and I took the boys into my classroom.